I ran into my ex-wife's mom by the poolside. What happened next changed everything. I never thought I would see her again. 6 weeks after my divorce from Jessica was final, I was still waking up every morning feeling like someone had punched a hole straight through my chest. The apartment was too quiet. Her side of the closet was empty, but I could still picture her clothes hanging there. I could still hear her laugh in the kitchen. And I could still see the messages on her phone that changed everything. 8 months. She had been cheating on me with her personal trainer for 8 months, while I stayed late at the office thinking I was building our future. The divorce hurt, but the lies hurt more. I felt stupid, used, replaceable. My best friend Kevin would not stop calling me. He kept saying I needed to get out of town, clear my head, stop acting like a ghost in my own life. I ignored him until he showed up at my door with a printed reservation. "You're going to Pinehurst Resort," he said. "I already paid. You leave tomorrow." I did not argue. I did not have the energy to argue. Pinehurst Resort was in the mountains, 6 hours from home. The place was beautiful in that perfect, expensive way. Stone walkways, flowers everywhere, a lobby that smelled like fresh wood and clean air. It felt like a place where happy people went to celebrate things, not a place for a man who just lost his marriage. The first night, I unpacked my bag and sat on the edge of the bed wondering what I was supposed to do there. Hike alone, sit by the spa, pretend I was someone who enjoyed relaxing vacations. On the second morning, I forced myself to go to the pool. It was early, maybe around 7. The air was cool, and the mountains were covered in soft morning mist. The infinity pool looked like it poured right into the valley below. I sat on a lounge chair near the edge, staring at the water, but I was not really seeing it. My mind kept replaying the moment I found those texts on Jessica's phone. The smiling emojis, the late-night messages, the lies. That was when I noticed her. She was standing in the shallow end of the pool, completely still. Most people move around, check their phones, adjust their towels. She did none of that. She just stood there in a dark blue one-piece swimsuit, looking out at the mountains like she was talking to them. There was something about her. She looked calm, but not empty. Strong, but not trying to show it. Her auburn hair was short and neat. She held herself with quiet confidence. I must have stared too long because she turned her head and caught me looking. Our eyes met. I should have looked away. I should have pretended I was checking the time. Instead, I just sat there. She walked toward me. Up close, she was even more striking. She had sharp, intelligent eyes. There were small lines around them that told me she had lived and felt deeply. She looked like a woman in her mid-40s, but she moved with an easy grace that made age feel meaningless. "Enjoying the view?" she asked. Her voice was calm, steady, more than I expected to, I said. She smiled and it changed her whole face. "I'm Diane." "Tom?" We shook hands. Her grip was warm and firm. She sat in the chair next to mine without asking, and somehow that felt natural. "First time here?" she asked. "Yeah. My friend forced me to come." "Running from something?" The question was direct, but not judgmental. "Divorce," I said. "Recent." She nodded slowly. "I understand that feeling." We talked for almost an hour. She told me she came to Pinehurst every year. It was her place to think, to breathe. I told her about my job in finance, about how work used to feel important, but now it just felt like noise. She did not try to fix me. She did not give advice. She just listened. Like what I said mattered. When she stood to leave, she looked at me for a moment. "I'm usually on the terrace at sunset," she said. "If you want company." That evening, I found myself walking to the terrace even though I told myself I would stay in my room. She was already there, leaning against the railing with a glass of wine. The sky was turning orange and pink behind the mountains. I grabbed a beer and stood next to her. We did not talk much. We just watched the sun sink lower. It should have been awkward. 2 strangers standing in silence. It was not. "Thank you," I said. "For what?" for not asking if I'm okay." She looked at me. "Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is just stand next to someone and let them exist." The next morning, I went to breakfast earlier than usual. I told myself it was for the coffee. It was not. She was sitting alone at a corner table with a book. She waved me over. We ordered food and talked about simple things. Movies. Travel. Books. She mentioned her daughter got married last year at a vineyard upstate. Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. I looked at her more closely. The shape of her eyes. The way she tilted her head when she smiled. And then it hit me. Jessica's wedding photos. The ones I deleted but could still picture. The mother of the bride in a navy dress. Standing slightly apart. Graceful. Calm. This was Diane Montgomery, my ex-wife's mother. My hands went cold. She did not know who I was. She had missed the wedding because she was overseas for work. We had never met. "Are you all right?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said quickly, but I was not fine. I should have told her right then. Instead, I stayed. That afternoon, I went back to the pool. She smiled when she saw me, a real smile that made something shift in my chest. 3 days passed, and I still did not tell her. Every morning, I planned to confess. Every time I saw her, the words died in my throat. We fell into an easy rhythm. Morning hikes. Afternoon wine tastings. Long dinners at the Mountain View restaurant where we talked for hours. She told me about her marriage. About her ex-husband, Gerald, a big executive who slowly tore down her confidence over 20 years. About how he left her for a younger woman. "I spent years making myself smaller," she said one evening as we walked through the gardens, "so he could feel bigger." "You don't seem small to me," I said. She stopped walking and looked at me. "I woke up 3 months ago and realized I was living like I was already dead," she said softly. "So I booked this trip. First vacation alone in my entire adult life. I'm glad you did." Quote. She studied me carefully. "Tom," she said, "I need to ask you something." My heart pounded. "This thing between us," she continued. "Are you feeling it too?" Quote. I did not hesitate. "Yes." She looked relieved and terrified at the same time. "I want to kiss you," she said. Every rational part of me screamed that this was wrong, that I needed to tell her the truth before this went any further. But when she stepped closer and looked at me like I was someone worth taking a risk on, I forgot every warning. So I kissed her, and in that moment, standing on a small bridge under soft lantern light, I knew one thing for sure. The truth